Adding on to what Sophie said before, there are 4 layers of the tropical rainforest. There's the emergent layer that has the tallest trees standing individually above the rainforest. The next layer is the canopy, which consists of a thick growth of trees taking up the majority of the sunlight. Below that is the understory, which includes plants that are adapted to low light levels and consist of small trees, shrubs, and bushes. Lastly, there's the forest floor with barely any light and a few plants and animals living there. Our biome's physical conditions continued. Our biome is the only biome in the world to produce 40% of our world's oxygen. Our biome has more kinds of trees than any other place in the world. According to estimates, more than half of all the world's plants and animal species live in tropical rainforests. In these 4 pictures you see the 4 layers of the tropical rainforest. To start off, in the top left, you can see the emergent layer, which has the tallest trees standing individually. Below that, in the bottom left-hand corner, is a canopy, where you can see the majority of the trees taking up the majority of the sunlight. In the bottom right-hand corner, you can see the understory layer, which has some trees and bushes and shrubs, but little sunlight. Lastly, in the top right-hand corner, there is the forest floor, which has mainly shrubs and bushes. The plants of our biome. Our biome is home to many species of plants. General species include orchids, epiphytes, mosses, lichens, and ferns. Many of the plants in our biome live in the canopy section of the rainforest. Many plants share a common adaptation, which is that many plants shed water off their leaves by closing or tightening up their leaves. This is so the branches do not break. Another adaptation is the trees in the canopy or emergent layer have their seeds adapt so they can be transported through the wind. The plants of our biome continue. As you can see, these 2 different sections, these are different species of plants in our biome. The first one is the ceiba tree, aka the Ceiba pentandra. The size of this mammoth is 60.96 meters. The shape of it is the 5 to 9 leaflets on our tree are palmate, or looking like palm hand, or compound, which is when many leaves connected to each other. The coloration of this is that it has light brown bark with green leaves and pink or cream leaves attached to it due to other plants attached to the tree. The first adaptation, it has adapted to grow very fast, so it gets a vast amount of sunlight. Because of this, it doesn't die off due to the limited amount of sunlight. The second adaptation is that it is adapted to help them shed water off their leaf by tightening their branches, like I said earlier. The last adaptation is that since it is one of the canopy trees, the seeds have adapted to become borne away on the wind. The next tree is the strangler fig, or, as scientifically named, Ficus aurea, which is located also in Florida. The size of this is 45.1104 meters. The shape of this tree is that the leaves are waxy and ovoid or oval shaped and have umbrella shaped or dome shaped like canopies. The coloration of this is that they have light colored bark along with darker green leaves. First adaptation is that ficus start their leaves as epiphytes in the crook of a tree or on its branches. An epiphyte is a plant that grows on another plant and it's used as nutrient, but it's not parasitic. The crook of a tree is where the 2 parts of the tree intersect. Since there is little light and a lot of competition for water and resources, ficus uses this adaptation to avoid this. The second adaptation is to ensure its survival. The ficus grows slowly at first, collecting its nutrients. Then the ficus sends thin roots down the trunk of the host. Once the roots reach the ground, the ficus goes on a growth spurt, eventually cutting off the nutrients for the host. Last adaptation for the strangler fig is that to get sunlight, the ficus puts out lots of leaves to rob the host of sunlight, eventually killing it and the ficus getting more nutrients. As you can see in these 4 pictures, there's the vegetation and plants in our biome. And in the bottom left, you can see one of the many common trees or plants, the orchid. And in the top right, you can see a lot of vegetation. In the top left, it's called a lipstick tree, which is a very, very interesting tree, which is why I chose a picture. In the bottom right, it is a pitcher plant, which is common, but it's not one of the general plants in our biome. Now I'm going to hand it back to our animal expert, Sophie.